Bradshaw with an interesting scoop on Mick Jagger. Jaime?
Yes, folks, Jerry Hall is gonna have a baby. Mick Jagger finally admitted it. He said, quote, "We'd like to have 3 kids, but marriage is out," unquote. Once her condition became obvious, Jagger confirmed rumors of longtime girlfriend Jerry Hall's pregnancy. After months of denials made because Hall feared fashion houses would be reluctant to employ her. Jerry said she would like to marry Mick Jagger, but she won't sign the prenuptial papers proposed to her by Jagger that would prevent the fashion model from inheriting half of the singer's fortune in the event of a divorce. Never mind that. The Rolling Stones' new record contract promises Jagger more money than he could ever hope to spend. Also, their new album, Undercover of the Night, looks like a winner so far. Meanwhile, attorneys are trying to get permission for the band to perform at the opening ceremonies for the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. Good luck to the Rolling Stones and the Olympics. Oh man, the Olympic athletes as well. Ain't doing that.
Have a good night.
Very good. Very good.
And today we have Jim Mahoney for an interesting view on the rock group Kiss.
It's no secret any longer. After a decade, Kiss is removing their makeup. It felt right to do it now, says Paul Stanley. We could make up all kinds of answers, but you have to do things when they feel right. They note that while the record lives or dies by the music inside and the... I skipped the line. No, I didn't. Could you start it over? I skipped the line.
Yeah. Okay, cut.
And here is Jim Mahoney for an interesting view of the rock group Kiss.
It's no secret any longer. After a decade, Kiss has finally decided to go without the makeup. It felt right to do it now, says Paul Stanley. We could make up all kinds of answers, but you have to do things when they feel right. They know that while the record jackets may change, a record lives or dies by the music inside, and the makeup doesn't matter. Also, they say their live shows never depend on the makeup, and they can maintain their bigger-than-life attitude on stage just as they are. Kiss is doing a 6-week tour of Europe through November before beginning a U.S. tour. There too, the makeup and the original costumes are gone. There are no plans to appear as the old Kiss for part of the show and then make the switch. It's been a great memory, but it's the past. The live show is basically the same as we did on the last American tour, says Stanley. Kiss feels that they can change the way they look without changing the way they feel. Time will only tell. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for that interesting comment on the rock group Kiss. Have a good night.
Good morning. And now Hagan is going to talk about history of TV.
After World War II, when TV was finally launched in this country, the FCC began dealing out licenses for TV stations. The license to telecast was like a license to print money. but it became clear that FCC had done a sloppy job. Signals overlapped and confusion took over. There was a freeze on additional TV licenses which lasted for 2.5 years. In 1952, the freeze melted and these were new TV stations across the country. That year's Republican convention was broadcasted, led many people realizing the importance of television. The difference between today's TV and TV in the 1950s is that networks are making movies and film in Poland and France instead of putting anyone on the air jammed into tiny New York studios. The most significant events in the last 30 years of television are as follows. Kathy Fisker's Story, 1949, The Debut of I Love Lucy, 1951, Home Today, Tonight, Matinee Theater, and Wide Wide World, which were attempts by Sylvester Weaver to break the radio mold and the soap opera syndrome with new visual forms which eventually became a cropper. Omnibus 1953 to 57, Playhouse 90, 1956 to 61, A Great Debate Between Kennedy and Nixon, 1960. The Public Broadcast Act, 1957, and finally 60 Minutes in 68. Another list of 10 happenings could be made that would be just as significant, with technical developments leading to the current electronic revolution in this, which TV, everything but cook are of consequence.
Thank you to be with us, and good night.
This is Jaime Bracho with some news on Motley Crue.
Motley Crue are currently on their first national tour, opening for Ozzy Osbourne. We really want to get out there and play, says Six. It's our dream, so we don't have much time as we used to raise hell. We've been keeping our heads down. Vince Neil 22, Nikki Sixx 24, Mick Mars 26, and Tommy Lee 20 make up Motley Crue. The strong sales of their second album, Shout the Devil, indicate that people like Motley Crue. But one has to wonder about their future. Will Motley Crue find themselves doomed to self-destruction by their past die fast philosophy? Motley Crue always seem to be followed by a black cloud, grumbles Vince Neil, although after some crowding he concedes that the band itself is frequently to blame. This past Halloween, Vince Neil was thrown in jail. I guess I got into a fight. He muses still, a bit foggy on details. I was at the Rainbow in LA and got arrested for a battery. The crew were banned from Vancouver, Canada before even arriving there. Explains bassist Nikki Sixx. We'd gotten into a little bit of trouble in Edmonton. Wrecked the 8th floor of a hotel in Vancouver. Got news of it and told us they didn't want our type there. Seems they heard we've been molesting young girls.
That was Jaime Bracho with some stuff on Crue, Motley Crue. Here's Rob Yad with some news on Crue.
Motley Crue are currently on their first national arena tour, opening for Ozzy Osbourne. We really want to get out there and play, say Six. It's our dream. So we don't have...
Here's Rob Yad with some news on Crue.
Motley Crue are currently on the First National Arena Tour, opening for Ozzy Osbourne. We really want to get out there and play, A6. It's our dream. So we don't have as much time as we used to raise hell. We've been keeping our heads down lately. Vince Neil, 22, Nicky Six, 24, Mick Mars, 26, and Tommy Lee, 20 make up Motley Crue. The strong sales of their second album, Shout at the Devil, indicate that people like Motley Crue. But one has to wonder about their future. Will Motley Crue find themselves doomed to self-destruction by their live fast, die fast philosophy? Motley Crue always seemed to be followed by a black cloud, grumbles Vince Neil, although after some prodding, he concedes that the band itself is frequently to blame. This past Halloween, Vince Neil was thrown in jail. I guess I got into a fight and he was still a bit foggy on the details. I was at the Rainbow in L.A. and got arrested for assault and battery. The crew were banned from Vancouver, Canada before even arriving there, explains bassist Nicky Six. We'd gotten into a little bit of trouble in Edmonton, wrecked the 8th floor of the hotel. Vancouver got news of this and told us they didn't want our pipe there. Seems they heard we've been molesting young girls.
That was Robbie Adamarka with some news on Motley Crue.
I don't know.
Hey, this is UFO TV, spacing here on a Saturday night. Life is a waste of time, and time is a waste of life. So let's all get wasted and have the time of our lives. Here's Janet and Liza with the news.
Evening. President Reagan went to China last weekend for the binge with the Chinese Emperor Lo Man-ping and his wife Chow Mein. Reagan took the Empress Chow Mein into the back for some quick Chinese food. The Emperor walked in and flipped out. Reagan quickly pulled out. Lo Man-ping began swinging the samurai sword like a maniac. Reagan's nude, mangled body was found yesterday off of Choi Shore by Lieutenant Wang Wang by the Chinese militia. It is believed that President Reagan just can't handle the way the Empress could cook.
Unknown to most of our viewing audience, the NASA space program provides for any American to send an experiment up on a space shuttle for a fee of around $5,000. The third period mass media class chipped in to see what the effects of Didier Reyes and Robbie Adamarka would be when they're stoned up in space. The U.S. has now surpassed Russia in the knowledge of being spaced in space. They sent the two boys up, along with several pounds of Colombian scent and several kegs of beer. They wanted to bring girls too, but that's a different experiment. Well, the results were surprising. Rob and Didier both say that it's better to be wasted up in outer space than it is to be spacey here in this waste. The next experiment that this class plans to send up is going to be a mountain goat injected with heroin and massive amounts of cocaine. Janet?
Friday, April 13th, 1984, Mr. Soloro, principal of Richfield Park High School, was found violently murdered in his office. Mass media teacher, Mr. Benny, was an eyewitness at the incident, but won't reveal the murderer. Mr. Benny's exact words were, "I gave my word of honor." Police commissioner said that if Benny doesn't reveal the criminal by the end of the week, he will be put in jail. We will keep you informed as soon as other information is obtained. And now Liza with the weather.
Just get on it. Can I go? Hi, and I know all of you are on this mean Saturday night. The forecast for this weekend is going to be cool as hell. All right, I don't know about all of you, but I don't know, right about here somewhere. It snowed massively in my living room this morning, okay? But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got all of it up by myself, and actually I can say it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I enjoyed it immensely. And I'm really not sure where my teeth are right now, but that doesn't matter. Don't worry about the Russians nuking us, because we're going to have acid rainfall in this part of New Jersey anyway this weekend. You better enjoy it all while you can, because when it stops, there's going to be a clearing of beautiful, sunny weather. This is going to dry us all out. But that's cool anyway, because by the time we straighten up, we're in for another blizzard of about 4 to 6 grams. I know you're all going to really enjoy that. Don't lie. I know you're going to like it. All games, all sports, everything is canceled this weekend on account of snow. Lindsay Gelnell, eat your heart out. That's the weather, and here's Didier.
Since leaving Black Sabbath, Ozzy said, "I've had to fight every day. There will never be another band like Black Sabbath again." Sabbath was a phenomenon. After 10 years with Sabbath, Ozzy had enough of them and made his next career move, which included a 2-year disappearance to prepare for his solo emergence. Ozzy's next step was to find a direction for a solo song, which he released under the group's name, The Blizzard of Oz. Rudy Sarzo was on bass, Randy Rhoads on guitar, which he got from the old Quiet Riot, and Tommy Aldridge on drums, with Don Airey on keyboard.
Motley Crue consists of Nicky Sixx, Vince Neil, Tommy Lee, and Mick Mars. They recently received the gold record for their second album, Child of the Devil, at which Ozzy was present at the party after. There was Vince Neil surrounded by hordes of women and Mick Mars and Nicky Sixx, who were down in free booze as fast as the bartenders could serve it, making the record company executives more nervous by the minute. And drummer Tommy Lee, the true wise ass of the group, cutting up the reporters along with the odds and photographers. Ozzy recently commented on the Crew that they are a great band to work with. They love to party and have a good time, and that's good to see in a young band. Their music is fantastic. He added with a proper amount of respect, the Crew are the only group that can outdrink them.
Also, this past March 17th was a day of sorrow for the millions of Randy Rhoads, because it was on that day which his death occurred in a small private plane crash. But his memory was and is remembered and will never be forgotten.
The staff of UFO TV would like to take a stand on drugs in school. We feel that any type of dealing, buying, selling, and using is a personal choice. It should not be determined by school officials.
No way.
Right?
Right.
School officials, like Rob Sippis, have no legal pull.
None.
They have no connection with the law. So why the hell should they be able to determine and prohibit the use of drugs?
Really?
And while we're at it, why can't kids carry boxes around in the hallway?
Boxes, I know.
Right? And why can't we listen to Walkmans in class? They have nothing else to do anyway, and it would keep them quiet. By the way, while we're on the subject, why do we have to go to school at all? We're not doing anything. We're not learning anything. All right, but realize this. Dealing in school, along with poker games and male striptease acts, right? Male striptease acts?
Yeah.
Would reduce teenage deaths and arrests. And arrests, okay? We're all getting arrested? This is B, okay? Having to drive to the city all the time to do everything is a pain. Wouldn't it be simpler, cheaper, and just much safer to have it all done in one building?
Yeah,
all
definitely.
Right? If you have any views on this subject, UFO TV would be very pleased to air supporting votes as well as opposing views on this subject. Or if you everything, whatever. Thank you and stay wasted, and that's the news. That's everything.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Party tonight at your house or what?
Definitely.
And this has been the news from your UFO TV Space Out Station. Thank you.
As well as supporting views. So thank you and stay wasted. That's the news for tonight.
Good night. Good night. Stay wasted.
No, back there.
evening and welcome to the WJUTS Evening News. Your anchor person, Seta Cashton and Larry Torres. We are brought to you tonight by Blast Hangover Cures. Your head won't hurt after the blast.
Well, the top story tonight, the moral majority, alias the mental minority, continues to lobby in Washington against sex on television. When asked why, Jerry Falwell replied, "We don't want our kids knowing something about the birds and the bees that we don't." Larry?
Hola, yo tengo 30 segundos para la noticia, pero realmente no tengo nada que decir. Pero yo creo que todos ustedes son un grupo de perros. Y si tuviera las noticias no se las diera.
English, Larry. Well, the FBI has launched an investigation into a prostitution and white slavery ring right here in Richfield Park, New Jersey. It seems that several 3rd to 6th grade girls have disappeared only to reappear on street corners all over town. This ring has allegedly been traced to the infamous Carlo the Pimp. We have Carlo here now for an exclusive, in-depth WJIZ interview. You sleazebag.
No comment.
How can you sit in that chair without sliding off the line?
No comment.
Didn't your mother change your diapers enough when you were little or something?
No comment.
You should be publicly spit at.
No comment.
And then burnt at the stake. Don't you have anything to say for yourself?
Only that a pillar of this community contested to this interview on the premises that I will be treated in a professional jurisdiction manner. I won't dignify your slanderous remarks with a reply.
Ooh, big words, pig. Get out of here, you shifty-eyed weasel. Coming up, Larry and WJI's the editorial, sports, and weather.
That's so nice, huh? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Some party, huh? A little too heavy on the beer. And now your summer feels like, ooh, it's your head. Well, we finally got a cure. Blast, it's the one-time hangover headache cure. For that morning after, when you just can't stand it, give yourself the blast. You'll never ache again.
Welcome back for the WJIZ editorial. This week my commentary concerns sex on television. I am appalled. I'm disgusted and just plain tired of the debate on sex on television. We all know that there simply isn't enough on TV. Hey man, a little TNA never hurt anyone. We need more. It's alright. If we can't turn our sets and see a little sex once in a while, well, I'm disappointed. But what have our forefathers fought over the last 200 years? I'll tell you. Liberty, freedom, the right to sex on TV. If you don't like it, turn it off. If I can't watch some sex on TV, well, comrades, my last name might as well be Custer. The station recognizes its right to broadcast opposing viewpoints from responsible morons who don't agree with me. Better?
You know, many times it's the simple things in life that we breeze over and fail to get the maximum pleasure from an experience. Take, for instance, the simple act of eating a banana. Sure, this is taken for granted, but there's a definite technique to this. Really, many don't even hold it right. You grab the banana firmly at the base, stop and look at it. It's gonna taste good. Then peel back the skin. Careful not to break it. Oh God, real slowly, savor it. Careful not to break it. Take the exposed banana and take a bite. Don't bite too much or you'll choke. Now savor the taste. Now grab the nearest banana and try it. You'll never forget the experience. That concludes today's WJIZ How to Do It segment. Now here's Annie Hayden with an editorial reply.
Thank you, Mr. Dashin. I'm a stupid moron who doesn't agree with Larry Torres. How can one of this nation's responsible broadcasters possibly take such a reprehensible stand? To think that this intimate act must be propagated solely for the purpose of taking the viewing purpose? public money is warped indeed. I am greatly sickened by this stalking turn of events. Indeed, this show is the biggest offender. You are tasteless and insensitive. You cheapen the tender feeling human beings can have. And for what? What, money? You are the vermin who infest the filth being behind public toilet seats in New York City. But I and the rest of the American public, led by the moral majority, will cleanse the television of your filth. I will lead the way with Lysol in hand.
Another great thing about Bless is that it also eliminates the people who give you headaches. Okay, in sport, the story, excuse me, it's the Mets. They started out to be great with a 6-1 record, and then they went down tubes. Now they're doing okay, but the home opener they lost 10-1. Oh God. They lost the home opener 10-1. Let's face it, they're gonna do good. The NBA playoffs, the Knicks and the Nets starting off at the row. Now they're eliminated by the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. In hockey, the Islanders are losing 1-0 already. When Gretzky scored a goal yesterday, and they lost 1-0. That's the sport. And I'm Larry Torres.
And I'm Sebastian.
And that's the news.
And that's the news for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow on WJUGS Evening News.
Good morning. Welcome to WASS, America's Superstation, presenting the Skipper News Show with Nancy Space Ace Davis and Mike Skipper Price, letting you know what's cooking down yonder and up near. If it's not there, it's nowhere.
Cuba is having an election to the municipal government. In the dictatorship of Cuba, it is ironic that municipal elections ought to be held. Today's election is the fourth since 1976. To be elected are 11,000 delegates to form 169 municipal governments. At least 70% of the delegates are Communist Party members. 98% voter turnout is to be expected. Now for the national news. The New Mexico State Legislature is trying to pass a law that will prevent any Mexicans from Mexico in the state bars. Half of them run up a tab and wind up running out of the bar because of their poverty situation. The other half are just too stupid to know what they ordered and run out of money that they don't even have. The governor replied when asked about the situation, these grease monkeys are getting out of hand. The governor said that he is also going to try to keep them out of the state altogether in order for a better New Mexico. And now over to Mike Price for local news.
A tragic incident occurred at Ridgefield Park High School last Wednesday. Al Donahue, a sophomore at the school, was savagely beaten by a group of infuriated seniors. What transpired was Al being bombarded by an assortment of bottles, rocks, and tire irons. Dieter Miller, that tiger him, the leader of the group, was quoted as saying, "I should have killed that little bastard after what he said about the senior class." Al should be released from the hospital by next week. Now, over to Nancy Davis for the sports.
This is Nancy Davis speaking of sports. The Yankees lost to the Minnesota Twins by a score of 13-2. When X-Club went home, Dave Winfield replied, "They scored too many runs." The Mets, on the other hand, trounced the Philadelphia Phillies by a score of 8-0. Getting the win for the Mets was Craig Swain.
It's swag, jerk!
Mookie Wilson was quoted as to say, "I think that beat did good, real good." In local sports, the Milwaukee Ladies Auxiliary, led by massive Myrtle Mesa Jones, won the annual powerlifting contest. Her winning effort put up to 475 pounds. And now to Mike Price for the feature story today.
Today's feature story is on heavy metal bass player.
Okay, this is Chico Labarez, and we have an interview with a disco group, the Silverstein. Okay, how did you get your name, the Silverstein?
Silverstein? No, our name is Russian Steel, not Silverstein.
Metal.
What do you mean a Russian Steel?
We don't play no disco.
No.
Shoot, man!
Heavy metal, man.
Heavy metal.
Shoot, man.
We didn't tell you about that, Chico. We couldn't get Silverstein today.
What do you mean, you know?
We were hanging out outside your building, man. Like, you know.
We were out there jamming a little bit.
So the guy came down and asked us, you know. So, hey.
Here we are.
Okay. All right, a little change in, you know, in the weather here. Okay, we got the
weather.
The what are you again?
Russian Steel.
All right, the Russian Steel. So okay. So what were your names of your recent records?
Dogs Without Ears.
Dogs Without Ears and
Toad Rap.
Yeah, with Toad Rap.
These are the names,
Yeah,
man.
like that, man.
Decent names.
I had this really good acid with them.
Great.
It just came to us, you know. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome or what?
Totally awesome stuff, man.
What was your latest, you know?
Oh,
Latest,
Toad Rap.
Toad
was our
Rap.
latest.
Yeah.
That was in what?
62 or was it 63? 62, yeah.
62 and a half.
62 and a half.
Okay, I'll give you 62 and a half.
Yeah.
So how did the band get together? You know, you guys, just meet up partying or whatever?
Well, kind of. You see, I was out doing a little drinking, a little partying, and then I got picked up, and he put me in a cooling tank, to mellow out and stuff.
And that's where I live.
Yeah, he lives there.
Oh, yeah?
He was staying there.
I live there.
So,
Oh, drug addict, huh?
No. Well,
it's just
not
that
really.
sometimes I see things that aren't there.
So we started talking, and then we decided to start this band, and here we are, Russian Steel.
When did you guys get together? Like when did you, first meet?
Oh, about like 62, 63 after our album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the album, not after. Before the album.
Can we play you a song?
Yeah, we got this song.
Okay, folks. These people got a song they're gonna be playing for us.
All right. Now we just kind
wrote this out on the street.
Yeah. So
it's about. See, I got evicted last week.
Okay, folks. We got the Russian Steel. Now here, take it away. The Russian Steel.
Sorry about that. After you get him going, he's hot.
Oh, that was awesome.
Hey, we're on camera, man.
Okay.
We're on camera. Look, we're on camera. Check it out, man. Camera, man.
Oh, there it is. The lights even go.
Okay, so that was the song for today. That was the heavy metal group Russian Steel. Awesome. Thank you, Russian Steel, for coming to visit our studio. We really appreciate it.
Get out of the way, man. He's trying to
All right, Russian Steel, man. Okay.
Russian Steel.
Hey, give him a hand.